I'm Kevin Coleman with the Santa Post, and I am at Community Action on Woodbridge at the corner of Western, a little off the corner. And I wanted to get a feel for how the homeless shelter is going. So
Sure.
I'm with Julie Bolen, and introduce yourself.
I'm Julie Bolen. I'm the executive director of Ross County Community Action. And we opened the Ross County Community Resource Center in December of 2023. So we've been open just over a year now. We are operating the Community Resource Center as a 24-hour a day resource center where we're also providing overnight shelter services. So we've been incredibly busy. Since we opened in December, it was actually December 12th of last year, we have served 636 unduplicated individuals at the resource center who've stayed at least one night at the center.
So one person may come in multiple times, but you count them only once you say
Yes.
638?
Yes, yeah. So we also do calculations with or keep numbers and data on number of like bed nights, but for the number of unduplicated individuals we've served over the last year, it's been over 600 people.
Okay. You call it a resource center, but it's primarily for giving shelter for homeless or unhoused people?
Yes, exactly. Yeah, and we offer wraparound supportive services. So we have our what we call our day services. So it is open for people to come in, provides a safe, warm place in the winter and cool place in the summer. We do have a shower trailer there, providing shower facilities. We provide food and snacks, various supplies, hygiene kits, hats and gloves. And then we have supportive services for the individuals who are staying at the resource center. So we're providing case management, peer recovery support. We're helping people access other benefits, working with job and family services. We also have some providers that come on site and provide resources, try to help individuals find employment, and then also ultimately help people find permanent housing solutions. So in the last year, we've been able to place 91 households into permanent housing. So we're really excited about those numbers. That's a lot of individuals and families that we've been able to get into housing outside of the shelter.
I get the impression this is a vast improvement over what was available before.
Yes, yeah, this is actually our fifth location in the last few years, operating and opening a big emergency shelter. And this is our largest capacity that we've had. And it's also, we've been fortunate enough to secure this property and to have it as a permanent location. So previously we'd had to move around to different locations within the community, and, had a lot of roadblocks regarding zoning and, lease agreements and, funding to operate and move around. There's a lot of things that go into setting up and, setting things up to get approved for occupancy and to have a safe environment. So when we opened this in December, we were really excited, knowing that this was going to be a permanent location. We did go into it though, starting off, this is the first time we've been able to operate as a 24-hour-a-day facility. Previously at the other locations, we had to shut down during the day, and that was either for zoning or lease agreements or staffing, for several reasons usually. And that was not always an ideal situation for people to have to pack up in the morning and leave for the day and then come back in the evening. So we went into that, opening this as a 24-hour-a-day facility, 7 days a week, and we weren't sure how long we could maintain that capacity. And by capacity, I mean, serving up to 80 people a night, and also operating 24 hours a day because of funding. It's very costly to operate like that. But we've been fortunate enough to secure funding, and we have been open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week since last December, and feel confident in the in the short term to be able to continue to do that. And, but we are working on trying to identify additional funding sources to keep this operational and to maintain, needed upgrades to the facility as well.
And this is the former Eastern Avenue Lumber.
Correct.
On Eastern Avenue.
Yes.
Sort of between Douglas and Watt Streets?
Yes, it's 804 Eastern Avenue is the address.
So anyone who needs shelter could physically walk up and find it?
Yes. Yeah, and we do, last night I just spoke to our shelter manager, and we did have 80 people there last night. So
you're up to
that's
capacity.
about at capacity. So, I would encourage folks to call first, and we try not to turn anyone away, but, with these temperatures and like they are, we are seeing more people coming in.
What's the phone number?
It is 740-702-7222, extension 146.
Okay.
I'm sorry, 148.
Okay.
Sorry.
How has it been since our big snow and the single-digit overnights?
Yeah, we've had a lot more people. And the day we have the buildings actually separated into the when you enter in through the back of the building, and then that area is our day services area, and then the shelter area is in the back, and the shelter area is only open in the evening hours and overnight, and then that shuts down, and then the day area is open up for people. I was in there yesterday and it was packed, and we have a lot of people in there, and we're trying to do the best we can, but we definitely have a lot of folks that don't have a place to go.
These are people who would be sleeping outside or in a tent or on someone's couch.
Yes, absolutely. And we have a lot of children there right now too, babies and children. And of that 636 people we've served over the last 12 months, 60 of those have been children. So we have a lot of families there as well.
Yeah. Any thoughts on, there was a man found dead in an alley off Main Street. He was probably homeless.
Yeah, it's a very unfortunate situation, and I can't speak to, personally on his situation, but, very, very sad situation, and hate to see that happen to anybody, and that's what we're facing with people who, if they can't get into the shelter, or if the shelter wasn't available, we'd have a lot more people out on the streets and in this cold temperature.
Do you think we would have had a few more people die over the last week or two?
If we didn't have the shelter?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we'd definitely probably would have been facing more of those situations.
And also, Chillicothe Council is getting back to proposed legislation, anti-camping ordinance, which is to prevent homeless camps. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to review all of the, proposed legislation yet. I'm planning to do that, and definitely will be planning to reach out to council members to discuss the, the situation and the current state of homelessness in Ross County and in Chillicothe. I think there's a lot to it. There's, we obviously have the shelter right now, but we have concerns of long-term sustainability, of, maintaining this capacity and the cost that, the cost of it and the operating of it. So there's a lot to consider, and, we realize also the shelter is not the place for everyone. And so we do have folks, unfortunately, still sleeping outside and in encampment. So, we're always focused on trying to find solutions and resources to serve the, the unhoused population in the community. So I definitely look forward to, having further discussions and conversations over, what we can continue to do as a community to support those folks.